Back home, we see Naruto and his companions doing some more of the D-rank missions. They clean garbage from rivers, they walk dogs on minefields, and Naruto gets wrecked. On his way back home from a mission, Naruto is followed by a square fake rock. Wherever he goes, the rock follows him back and forth. It turns out to be Konohamaru, the grandson of the Hokage, with his friends. Sakura stumbles into Naruto and Naruto tries to have a conversation with her, but she's not into it. Konohamaru calls her his girlfriend. When she hears this, she smashes Naruto in his face. Because she hit Naruto, Konohamaru calls her a witch and an ugly girl. Hearing this, she gets mad as hell and kicks his butt too. When she was leaving, Konohamaru told her that she is not even human, and her forehead is so wide it's like a highway. Sakura starts chasing them again, super mad. While they run from her, they stumble into two guys, Kankuro and Temari. Kankuro grabs Konohamaru from the neck and calls him a punk. Naruto warns him to let the kid down. Kankuro doesn't want to listen to him, so Naruto rushes him. But Kankuro does a jutsu and makes Naruto stumble and fall on the ground. When Kankuro is about to hit Konohamaru, Sasuke throws a stone and hits his hand, making him drop the kid. They have a little proxy war of words, and then Gaara intervenes and stops Kankuro from being a coward and tells him to chill. Hokage Hiruzen gathers all the ninjas and tells them that in a week the Chunin exam will begin. They are all surprised because they were informed so late. Kakashi steps forward and tells that he leads Squad 7, so he recommends Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura, all three of them, for the Chunin exam. Then, Kurenai steps forward and she tells that she's leading Group 8, Hinata, who likes Naruto, Kiba, and Shino. And the last one is Sensei Asuma. He tells that he leads Group 10, which consists of Ino, who likes Sasuke too, Shikamaru, and Choji, who always eats snacks, and he recommends all three of them for the exam as well. Naruto and his group are on the way to register for the exam, and over there they meet a guy called Rock Lee and his group. Rock asks Sasuke's name and age, but Sasuke refuses to tell him his name and walks away. Rude. Rock Lee is upset at Sasuke because he showed that attitude. He finds Sasuke and challenges him to a fight. Then he's saying to Sakura that he loves her, and she looks like an angel for him. Sakura tells him that he's a weirdo and looks strange, and that his haircut is terrible. Rock Lee starts to send in her direction loads of love hearts. Sakura tries to dodge all of them, she's terrified, and tells him to keep his creepy valentines for himself. Naruto is getting mad because, again, Sasuke is the one to get attention. He decides to attack Rock Lee and rushes towards him, but Rock Lee, with two simple moves, knocks out Naruto. Then, Sasuke accepts Rock Lee's challenge and they start to fight. Sasuke is getting kicked by the rock. He decides to use his Sharingan, but that doesn't help him at all. When Rock Lee is about to strike him, his sensei intervenes and stops Rock Lee. Rock Lee's sensei actually is a turtle. Naruto cannot believe his eyes and says, "Is that even possible?" And then his sensei appears out of nowhere, and looking exactly the same as Rock Lee, his sensei tells him that he has to punish Rock Lee for breaking the rules, and he lands a punch into Rock Lee's face. Then he apologizes to Rock Lee and says that this is for his own good. Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke look at them astonished. They cannot believe their eyes. They're dressed up like losers and behave like real losers. At Chamber 301, Kakashi was waiting for those three, and he's glad to see them all together, and he explains that if one of them would decide not to participate, then the other two could not register for the exam. They all decide to join. Naruto tells Kakashi that they will not disappoint him. Inside room 301, Sakura feels embarrassed so many ninjas are looking at her. Suddenly, Ino jumps into Sasuke's neck and tells him that she's been missing him a lot. Sakura is getting mad seeing that and calls her a loser, and to take her hands off from her Sasuke. We see all the groups bunched together. Group 8 and Group 10 show up. Then a guy called Kabuto tells them to chill out and not to show all this attitude in front of the other examiners. For Kabuto, it's the 7th try for the Chunin exam. He takes out some cards and explains to Group 7, 8, and 10 that he was gathering information on his opponents all this time, and he reveals some secrets within those cards. 3 of the participants he's talking about hear what Kabuto was saying, and they decide to teach them all a lesson. They attack Naruto's group, but Kabuto engages them, stopping their attack. And actually, although he thinks he dodges the attack, in reality, he gets hit. They are all surprised. Then, a guy named Ibiki Marino appears and tells them that the exam is going to start. He will be their proctor, and they have to consider him as their worst enemy. The first test begins, and it's a written one. Too bad for Naruto. He's been skipping all the lessons and not learning the theory. He's cornered. Sakura, on her side of the room, understands that Naruto has 99% chance to fail, but hopes that if she and Sasuke answer all the questions, they should be fine. But Ibiki the proctor announces that if one member of the group doesn't answer any questions, they are disqualified. Naruto falls into despair, but lucky for him, he sits next to Hinata. Sasuke, on his side, analyzing the given tasks and the rules, he understands that actually they want them to cheat, but not getting caught. All the groups start to use their small tricks to copy. One of them is using a fly to copy the answers down, and another one uses the dog that stands on his head. Naruto is shaking and tumbling, knowing that he's gonna fail, but Hinata calls him out and tells him that she can show him her test. Naruto thinks it's his lucky day, and when he's about to start to copy it down, a knife flies between the two of them and strikes the paper sheet of the guy behind them, and one of the sentinels tells that guy that he and his group is disqualified. More other groups get caught and disqualified too. A lot of them are caught cheating, and they are forced to leave. Hinata tells Naruto to again copy from her, but Naruto is scared of being caught and refuses her. Ino uses her mind transfer jutsu to copy from Sakura. Gaara uses his third eye, which is invisibly linked to his nervous system. Kankuro asks to take him to the bathroom, and one of the sentinels goes with him, but it was his crow. The class is full of tension. Naruto is very concerned. He hopes he can answer the 10th question, which Ibiki left for the last minutes of the exam. Ibiki stops the class and tells them that it's time for the 10th question, and he explains to them that they might choose not to answer that question, but if they do so, the whole 3 members of the group will be disqualified. And if they choose to get the question and they don't answer it, they'll be disqualified permanently from the Chunin exam. Ibiki gives them a couple of minutes to think if they want to take the 10th question. First student raises his hand. He tells him that he wants to quit. More other students do the same. They decide not to take the risk and just leave the exam. Slowly, Naruto raises his hand in the air, then stands on his feet and tells Ibiki to not expect him to quit, and that he's not going to run and he's not going to back down. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, and he's going to be Hokage one day. Ibiki tells the class that he admires their determination and that there is only one more thing to say to them. Congratulations for passing the exam! They're all shocked and cannot believe it. Ibiki explains to them that actually the 10th question, and in fact the whole exam, was about testing their determination and to see if they were willing to take the risk. At this point, a stone flies through the window, and there is an explosion, and the next proctor makes her appearance. It's Anko Mitarashi, and she's surprised to see so many students are left this year. She tells them that by the end of the 2nd exam, all of them will be gone. Ibiki is gathering the paperwork from the test and stops at Naruto's sheet and realizes that he just passed a student without answering any questions. Anko takes them to Perimeter 44, which is also called the Forest of Death. Over there, Naruto is followed by a square rock. He runs back and forth as fast as possible, but he cannot get rid of it. And guess who it can be? Well, I'm pretty sure you've guessed. Konohamaru again with his gang. They tell Naruto that they want to take an interview for the Academy newspaper, and it's all about the Chunin examinations. Anko asks Naruto what's going on and why he's slowing down the exam. He tells her that there's an interview for the Academy newspaper, and then Anko remembers that Lord Hokage told her about interviewing her. Naruto is confused because he thought Konohamaru was going to interview him. In the end, Naruto gets interviewed, and he talks about how great he is and how much he loves ramen noodles. He tells them that Sakura is in love with him, and Sasuke is a pain in the butt and always showing off. He's the best ninja, and one day he'll be Hokage, and so on and so on and so forth. At the gates of Battlefield 44, Anko tells the group that they're going to be fighting for 2 scrolls, the Heaven Scroll and the Earth Scroll, and that they have a time limit of 5 days. All the participants are given a piece of paper to read and sign it, that they understand the risk that they might die. Half of the participants are given the Heaven Scroll, and the other half is given the Earth Scroll. Each team has to bring, at the end of the exam, both scrolls. Those who don't have 2 scrolls are disqualified. Naruto and his team get the gate number 12 to get in. All the participants rush into Perimeter 44 to go and get their scrolls. While Naruto is going to take a leak, one of the enemies does a transformation of Naruto and attacks Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke fights back and manages to stab their opponent. Being stabbed, he runs away. Fair enough. After this, they lay down and decide on a password so they can recognize each other if they encounter enemies who's gonna copy them. Sasuke decides to have a long freaking password. For Naruto, it's hard to remember. Suddenly, they're hit by a big blow from the distance and they're separated from each other. Sasuke and Sakura are together, but Naruto gets blown away. Naruto encounters a huge snake that tries to hit him. He dodges the snake, but unfortunately, the snake catches Naruto and swallows him. Sakura and Sasuke are forced to fight one of the enemy, a creepy lady that swallows her scroll and tells them that after this fight, only one of them is gonna get the scroll. The creepy lady blows them with a fear wave. They're shocked. Naruto is chilling outside the snake's stomach, and he realizes that he needs to get out quick if he wants to not get melted inside the snake by its digestive juices. The creepy lady paralyzed Sasuke and Sakura with fear. Sasuke manages to take his knife out from his pocket and stands on his feet while Sakura is in total shock. The creepy lady throws a knife to kill Sasuke, but he manages to escape that and not get killed this time. Meanwhile, Naruto performs his shadow clone jutsu and does a bunch of his clones and makes the snake explode. He's safe for now. Sasuke stabs himself with his knife, so he overcomes the fear shock with pain. He grabs Sakura and runs away. While on the branch of a tree, a big snake attacks them. Sasuke throws his knives into the snake's mouth and kills it. While heavily breathing, the creepy lady is coming out from the snake, and it tries to scare Sasuke even more. She tries to attack Sasuke, but at this point, Naruto throws his knife and stops her. Sasuke tells Naruto to run because he doesn't know what he's dealing with. Sasuke decides to give the scroll to the creepy lady just so they'll get left alone. He throws the scroll at her, but Naruto grabs it and goes back to Sasuke and punches him in the face, and calls him a coward and a loser, and asks him why he would give the scroll away. And Naruto thinks he's a clone, not the real Sasuke. The real Sasuke would never do that. Back at the camp, 3 of the Sentinels find 3 corpses dead, which raises suspicions on the way they died. One of them goes to Anko and tells her that she needs to take a look at the bodies. She comes to the scene and sees that those 3 died in suspicious ways. They're faceless. And she tells the Sentinel to go to Lord Hokage and tell him what happened to this guy and to bring reinforcements because this is a huge deal. Anko herself then rushes into Area 44, hoping she's not too late to save the candidates for the exam. Naruto faces the creepy lady who forms a giant snake. She smashes him with a big blow, but when Naruto gets mad, she sees in his eyes the nine-tailed fox chakra. The creepy lady tries to attack Sasuke with a huge and terrifying serpent, but Naruto furiously stops her serpent right in front of Sasuke, and we can see Naruto's red eyes glowing. Sasuke is still in shock. Naruto calls him scaredy cat and a coward. Then this creepy lady catches Naruto with her big tongue, and then raises him in the air. She raises Naruto's cloth and sees the seal that keeps the nine-tailed fox inside him. She creates some blue fire out from her fingers and marks Naruto's belly with these. Naruto passes out. She throws him down in the woods. Sakura understands that the distance from the ground is too high and he might die. She throws the knife and pins Naruto to a tree. Finally, Sasuke comes out of his shock state and gathers his strength. His true Sharingan wakes up. The creepy lady then feels his Uchiha's clan blood is starting to boil for real in his veins. They engage, and the creepy lady starts to move very fast in front of Sasuke. But he can track her easily, and when she's about to hit him, Sasuke blows out his fireball jutsu and stops her, then dodges one of her attacks. The creepy lady blows one more attack on him, but Sasuke manages to escape this attack and catches the creepy lady upside down. He jumps down and strikes a blow with her head into the ground. But unfortunately, it was a substitution clone. The creepy lady engages him again and lands a couple of punches on Sasuke. He drops down on the ground. She calls him a shame for his Uchiha clan and says that he's a silly little worm. Sasuke, meanwhile, has managed to place behind her clothes some explosives. The explosive blows and Sasuke throws his invisible net and ties the creepy lady to a tree, and performs his fire-style dragon flame jutsu. With a powerful blow, he smashes her into a tree, creating a hole. Sasuke and Sakura think they've finished her, but the creepy lady breaks the net and steps forward. While she's talking to Sasuke, her voice changes to a male voice, telling Sasuke that she is impressed, such a mastery of the Sharingan at such a young age, and that he is a true Uchiha after all. And he definitely is Itachi's brother, and his eyes are even keener than Itachi's. He reveals his name, and it's Orochimaru. He tells them that they're going to meet again soon and performs a jutsu that extends his neck, and he goes all the way to Sasuke and bites him from the neck, placing a curse on him. Then he leaves. Sasuke rips apart in pain from the bite. Sakura doesn't know what to do and holds him tight to her. Anko finds Orochimaru and tells him that she's going to kill him because he's an S-rank criminal, and she'll put an end to this. Anko then calls him sensei, and that he taught her everything she knows now. What a turn of events. They engage in a combat, and Anko takes him out from the tree with her Shadow Snake Jutsu. She pins him to another tree, and she puts Orochimaru's hand into her hand and strikes her hand and his hand with a knife. She wants to do a sacrifice jutsu and destroy herself together with Orochimaru. But he tricks her with a substitution jutsu. Orochimaru rips off a piece of skin from his face and reveals his true face. Anko cannot fight him, and she has on her neck the same curse mark that he put on Sasuke. And in his presence, she's powerless because of the curse. Upon leaving, Orochimaru tells Anko to not stop the exam at any cost if they don't want to get in trouble. Sakura takes Naruto and Sasuke and shelters them in a cave. She makes sure that they're safe. In the morning, while Sakura watches over her teammates, 3 of their enemies, the one that served Orochimaru, attack Sakura. When out of nowhere, Rock Lee kicks them away from the cave. They all wonder who the heck is this bushy brows guy with a weirdo haircut. He tells them that he's the handsome devil of the village hidden in the leaves, and his name is Rock Lee. Dosu attacks Lee. Lee performs a bush jutsu and stops Dosu. After a couple of moves, Dosu misses his attacks on Lee. Lee lands a kick on Dosu and grabs him upside down, and with his special technique flies down to smash Dosu's head into the ground. But Zaku does a jutsu to save him and forms a heap of soft soil and smooths the hit for Dosu. Then Dosu is going after Rock Lee and performs on him his speed of sound jutsu. Lee dodges the strikes, but he still gets hit and cannot see with one eye. Dosu tells him they're gonna show him something what they call the wall. Dosu lands a hit and Lee falls on his knees and blood starts to come out from the ear. Dosu explains to him that even if he dodges this blow, he still gets hit by the power of sound. That's why he's got that gadget on his hand, and it allows Dosu to hit with the power of sound if the opponent dodges his fist. Zaku explains that he can manipulate ultra sound waves and air pressure. Dosu focuses attention on Sakura and tries to go after her to hit her, but Rock Lee rushes with his last reserves of power to save her. He manages to stop the blow, but he falls unconscious on the ground. From the bushes, Ino and her team, Shikamaru and the chubby Choji, are looking at what's happening. Kin grabs Sakura from the hair and mocks her by telling her that she should spend more time training than shampooing her hair. Sakura starts to cry because she is powerless. While bent down, Sakura takes her knife and cuts off her hair from where Kin was holding her. She does a substitution jutsu on Kin, and she focuses now on Zaku. After 2 substitutions, Sakura tricks him actually by getting hit with the knife while Zaku was thinking she was a substitution. Sakura strikes him with the knife and bites Zaku from one hand. While on the ground, Zaku starts to punch Sakura in the face to let his arm go. Hit by hit, hit by hit. Ino and her team is watching all of this happening. Come on, guys! And now they decide to intervene. All 3 of them stop Zaku from hurting Sakura, but Chubby Choji tries to run. Zaku calls him a frightened sheep and a fat loser. That makes Choji mad, and he changes his mind and tells Zaku that he's a dead man walking. Choji performs an expansion jutsu and transforms himself into a balloon, followed by leaf-style taijutsu. After this, he rushes to Zaku with a human boulder strike. Zaku counters with a slicing sound wave, but he can't stop Choji. He's too fast for Zaku. Dosu rushes to help Zaku, but on his way to Zaku, Shikamaru does a shadow positioning jutsu and paralyzes Dosu. He can't move and can't do anything. Ino uses her mind, transferring jutsu, and transfers into Kin's body and controls her. She tells them to drop the scroll and get out of there, but they don't care and start to beat their own teammate to stop Ino. They're shocked by this, but Dosu tells them that they don't care for the exam or the scroll. They are there after Sasuke. Rock Lee's teammates come in time at the scene to stop the bad guys from their plans. We now see a flashback from Sasuke's memories when his parents died and he was accusing himself from being weak and not being able to protect his parents. Sasuke actually wakes up from this dream in a state of rage and covered by a purple chakra. His body has some marks on it too. They change color from red to black. He asks Sakura who did that to her. Sakura is in a state of shock and cannot answer him. Zaku proudly tells him that he did that, and he lands an attack on Sasuke, his supersonic slicing wave. Sasuke easily gets behind him and smashes him into the ground, and performs on him fire-style Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Zaku tries to stop it, but it's useless. Sasuke gets behind him and grabs both of his hands and slowly breaks Zaku's arms. Sasuke turns around to Dosu and tells him that he hopes Dosu will make things much more fun. Sakura, terrified, now looks at him and how he slowly goes forward to Dosu, deciding to kill him. She runs and hugs Sasuke and tells him not to do that, and she starts to cry. Sasuke looks at her and the marks on his body start to retreat. He returns back to his previous state. Dosu tells Sasuke that he's strong, too strong for them, and in exchange for their lives, he'll give them the scroll. Dosu grabs his companions and leaves. Hinata and her group, Kiba and Shino, who already have 2 scrolls, encounter by accident Gaara and his guys Kankuro and Tamari. Akamaru, Kiba's dog, starts to be scared and trembling and goes underneath Kiba's clothes. Kiba is saying that his dog has the ability to feel the enemy's level of chakra. It means that those guys up ahead are not normal guys. They're really powerful. Gaara and his group are mocked by some random group who trash-talk them. Gaara tells them that he doesn't care about them, but because they looked the wrong way at him, they're gonna die. One of them engages Gaara and throws a storm of needles at him. Gaara easily blocks all of his needles with a wall of sand. Katkuro explains that he's carrying all that sand with him and he uses his chakra to harden the sand so nothing goes through it. And it happens automatically on his will. Gaara pulverizes the sand in the air and catches his opponent into a sand coffin. Then he puts such a big pressure on him that he explodes all over, falling into pieces. The other two are scared and give them their scroll, and they ask Gaara to spare them and not to kill them. Gaara doesn't care, and he forms again 2 new sand coffins on the other 2 and makes them disappear. Everybody watching is terrified seeing that. Hinata and her group are happy that they don't have to engage Gaara in a fight, and that they were unnoticed. One of the sentinels comes to Anko and tells her to pay attention to a videotape. She doesn't understand why they bother her, but he's saying to pay attention to the time, and they see that Gaara and his group got to the tower in 97 minutes, which is unheard of. That's way too fast for this test. Nobody ever did that. The Sentinel says that these guys are above Chunin level. Naruto and his crew got hungry. They decided to go fishing. Naruto jumps into the river and catches fish. He throws the fish out from the water, and Sasuke stabs them with his knife. While Naruto is frying the fish on the fire, Sasuke goes to bring some water. Meanwhile, Naruto tells Sakura that they don't have much time to find the second scroll. They're exhausted for another fight, and he has an idea to make a copy of the second scroll. But first they need to see what's inside this scroll. Sakura is against that and doesn't want to break the seal of the scroll, but he convinces her that they should do it. Naruto slowly tries to break the seal. He's shaking and worried at what is inside. But when he's about to actually open the scroll, Kabuto stops him and tells him that it's a really bad idea to do that. He explains that the scroll contains a very powerful curse that'll make you fall asleep for days, and by the time you wake up, the exam is over. Sasuke comes back with the water, and when he finds out that Naruto wanted to open the scroll, calls him a total loser. Sasuke sees that Kabuto has 2 scrolls and wants to fight him. Kabuto convinces him that's not a good idea, and they should work together to get to the tower, because from now on it's going to be harder and harder to get there. They all head in that direction together. While traveling to the tower, they realize that they're walking in circles and the tower is not getting any closer. Kabuto tells them it seems they've been spotted by other guys. Seems like they've been trapped by the enemy to walk in circles to exhaust them. Then, a bunch of enemies appear out from the trees and tell them to surrender their scroll. They look like clones. Naruto attacks one of them, but they don't disappear. These clones are mushy. One of the clones almost gets Naruto, but Sasuke stops him in time. Then Kabuto saves Sasuke from another attack. Sasuke falls down on the ground and cannot move. Kabuto tells them that according to the data that he has, the real enemies are somewhere hiding and are actually weak, and they don't want to exhaust them by fighting the clones. And they should conserve their chakra, but Naruto doesn't care. He wants to fight them. He performs his Shadow Clone Jutsu and attacks the mushy clones. Everybody engages this fight and they fight all night against the clones. In the morning, those idiots show up thinking that Naruto and his team are weak and exhausted, but it turns out that Naruto fooled them. He did his shadow clones and copy clones of Sasuke, Sakura, and Kabuto, while the other 3 were chilling to the side. That was a big surprise for the fooled trio. Sasuke tells him to step aside and take a rest. Naruto smashes a punch into one of those losers' face, and they all drop to the ground. Then our losers do multiple clones, but Naruto tries to find the real ones by hitting each clone. Sasuke uses his Sharingan jutsu to track the real enemies, and he doesn't see them. The curse mark that he has on his neck appears, and it doesn't allow him to use his jutsu. One of the enemy attacks Naruto, but Kabuto jumps on him and saves Naruto. Sasuke figures it out that these guys use Earth-style jutsu, and while the clones attack them from above, they attack from underneath the ground. That is why they cannot see them. One of the losers lands a big cut on Kabuto's face. Kabuto gets really angry, and one of his eyes turns red and looks at the losers. They take a step back from Kabuto. But Naruto strikes them with a kick in the head, and they're finished. Naruto searches the pockets of these losers, and he finds a heaven scroll. Finally, they reach the tower, and Kabuto's team is already there, and they tell him that he is so late. He explains that he needed to help Naruto's team. Kabuto praises Naruto for being brave, and he's very impressed by him. Naruto is very happy to hear that. Both teams go inside, and unexpectedly, Kabuto is greeted by Orochimaru. He gives one of his cards to Orochimaru with all the intel that he gathered from Naruto. Kabuto being a real KGB traitor for Naruto's team. Inside the tower, they decide to open up the scrolls, which then start to give off a lot of smoke. They're afraid that there could be a big explosion, so they throw them away. But out from that smoke, Iruka-sensei appears and congratulates them for finishing the second exam, and he tells them that they have made it right in time. Now he tells them that he's going to treat them for passing the exam with some ramen noodle. When Naruto hears that, he gives him a big hug, and full of joy tells him that ramen will be great, and he's going to eat all the ramen noodles ever made, because he is starving after this exam. Sasuke asks Iruka what would happen if they would look inside the scrolls during the exam. Iruka says that if they tried to open even one of the scrolls, they'd get knocked out right away by Iruka. Later, all the participants are gathered together and Lord Hokage has a speech explaining to them what is actually going on in the Chunin exam. What's it all about? It's a fight of nations where every village tries to show their military power to keep their sphere of influence by being the greatest military force, and their allies keep their respect of them. And this military force consists of great Chunin ninja who can fight for their country and risk their lives as part of their duty. The third exam is a fight for life with the pride of their village and their own dreams at stake.